Good morning, Chennai. Let's start. Come on, students. Hardik Jain. Good morning, all of you. Come on. Yes, please. All well. Vansh, Prasanna, fine. Hardik Jain, put on the video. Tanvi's chair I can see. Come on, students. Some particular last lecture had started with this topic, if you remember. Demand for money. Once I had started this now. Yes, please pay attention. Come on. Okay, first question. One of you tell me that demand for money is direct demand or derived demand? Come on. Demand for money is direct or derived? Derived demand. Yes. Prasanna, direct nahi, but derived, na, right? Why derived? Because I want money so that money enables me to buy the things that I want. So if I'm hungry, I'll not eat money. I'll buy things from money. Right, Navida? Tanvi, good morning. So demand for money, beta, is derived demand. First part. Then I started explaining to you in the last lecture something like this, students. Two theories of demand I had explained. Just a recap of that particular theory. First theory we did was the quantity theory of money. I hope you remember this. I done this with you now once. Fisher's theory I had done now. Fisher's theory. Yeah. Chalo, please pay attention, beta. What was quantity theory of money? I said this theory was first presented by a classical economist. Uncle's name was what? Come on, tell me. Irving Fisher. Come on. What was the explanation I had given, which all of you pay attention? Fisher used to say that people want money for the purpose of transactions. So people want money to spend because they believe that cash has only one function to perform, and that function is what? Come on, tell me. Transaction. So the approach was called as cash transaction approach. Second, what example I had given? Just a brief idea once again, students. I had said, suppose there is a country, and in that particular country, people want to buy goods. So question is how much money they will demand. So obviously, first parameter that will decide the demand for the money is price of the product. Then the next thing that will decide is the quantity of transaction that they want to undertake. Quantity of, come on, tell me, transaction. If you remember, I said something like this, student, you want to buy something which is worth 20 rupees. And people want to buy 500 units of that commodity. So understanding is this, students, people will demand 10,000 rupees. But if 10,000 moves hands 10 times, then which I'll divide 10,000 with 10 and I get what? 1,000 rupees. Remember this? So what is the formula I had given? MV is equal to PT, where M is equal to PT upon V. What is P? Come on, tell me. price of the product, T is volume of transaction, V is velocity of money supply. Second thing I'd said, if in a country velocity becomes more, maybe demand for money becomes less. If velocity is less, demand for money will be more. Suppose in this example, if the velocity was not 10, velocity was 5, then I would not have demanded 1000 rupees, I would have demanded 2000 rupees. To my dear students, that is what I was telling. Always I say, if you have money, use it, spend it, re-spend it. The more the number of times it moves hands, the more will be the velocity. And bacha, if it goes in more people hand, then what will be needed with a less amount of money also? We can create a more money supply in the country. The first thing is this. Then if you remember, bacha, the formula got extended and we said what? MV plus M1 V1 is equal to PT. I'd said today's time, most of the people would not make use of cash transactions. So maybe a person says, I'm making payment through credit card, debit card, Google Pay, Paytm. So they are making use of what students? Credit money, and that money also has velocity. So MV plus M1 V1 is equal to PT. That is the first theory, called as what theory? Come on, tell me. Cash transaction approach. Given by Fisher. I said classical economist. Then, beta, as time progressed, thinking got changed. People started feeling that, is it that we want money only for transactions? So no, future is so much uncertain. So people said we need money also to keep as a cash balance, because we need money for precautionary motives also. So beta, the Cambridge School of Thought came with a new development, and that approach they presented was called as what? Come on, cash balance approach. What is cash balance approach? I'd said, students, people want cash not just for transactions. People want cash for the purpose of keeping balance also, so that if future may there are some problems, they can take care of that particular problem with the money that they have saved. Now, beta, when I'm saying this, what I have at the back of my mind is, if in the past people used to conduct barter transactions, so barter transaction when a purchase and sale used to happen at the same time. Postponement of transaction was not possible, credit was not possible. Today the money which is there is durable money. Money does not loses its value in a period of time as such. So people prefer to keep cash with them. The reason is simple, that this cash can be used tomorrow in case of some kind of uncertainties. Imagine, students, someone is not well. You have to go to the doctors. Today, doctors, students are very expensive. Medical treatment has become expensive. So you need to keep some cash balance. What is the formula given for this? MD is equal to K PY. What is PY, beta? It said nominal national income. And K is the proportion of cash which people want to keep with themselves as cash balance. This is all I've done in the last lecture. I think I've taken 10 minutes, some revision. I'll start today with the most interesting topic, students. Kindly pay attention, very important from an examination point of view. It's called as liquidity preference approach. Please listen, students. All of you, put on the videos. Someshwara, good morning. All well, beta, let's start. And if you pay attention, you'll understand it. But the very important from an examination point. What is liquidity preference approach? The first thing, remember, this particular approach was presented by Lord J.M. Keynes. Now, Keynes was very intelligent. What Keynes did now, he got the idea from the first two theories, cash transaction and cash balance approach. He took that idea and developed it and presented a new theory. So in my college, when I used to teach, I used to say like this, students, he's presented the old wine in a new bottle. You're getting my point, students? So he's got the idea from these people. But then, students, he added a few more things in it to explain this liquidity preference approach. What is it? Pay attention. First thing, student, the classical economists, neoclassical economists used to say cash. He said, nahi, cash nahi. I'll call it as liquidity. Liquidity means hard cash. So what's the difference? Same thing, only the name he has changed. First thing. Second, beta, uncle tells, Keynes says, that people want liquidity. Basically, they want hard cash. When I say hard cash, please remember, bacha, I'm not talking about gold or other assets. I'm talking about cash. So he says people want cash for three different motives. Right? And he says demand for money is actually demand for liquidity. So the formula will be L, liquidity. So question is why people want money? Very easy. First, beta, he says people want money for transactory motive. Now, bacha, if you could use your common sense, it's so common. Now, the first approach only I gave the name cash transaction approach. And he says people want money for transactory motive. That means what he's trying to say, very simple. He's trying to say that people want money for the purpose of undertaking transactions, right? You get money, and the thing is that you don't need to spend that particular money that day. You'll be spending that money over a period of time. So you need to keep some amount of money with yourself to facilitate transactions. Second point, pay attention. Now, this is something that you need to understand. Keynes says transactory motives will be represented as LT. What is LT? Liquidity for transactory motive. Listen ahead. Uncle says the money needed for transactory motive is income elastic, and the money required for transactory motive is interest inelastic. What does that mean? Any idea? The money required for transactory motive. See, this is what was not mentioned in the past. It's mentioned now. So what uncle says, money required for transactory motive is income elastic, but it is interest inelastic. Any idea? Come on fast, boys and girls. Good morning, all of you. It's already 6:46 now, bus. Enough of sleep. My Bruno is sleeping, that is fine. We are the human beings. Now, come on, tell me fast. Okay, I'll tell you, beta, no problem. You pay attention, that is important. Good, someone has given some suggestion. Yes, superb, excellent. See, when I say income elastic, I mean this. The money that you want for transaction varies depending upon the level of income that you have. Now, Tanvi, what does that mean? Very easy. Pay attention. Think now, if a person makes an income of 12 lakh rupees in a year, and there is a other person who make 12 crore in a year, do they both have the same money that they keep aside for transaction? Once, tell me. No. So a person, student who wants 12 lakhs and a person who wants 12 crore, the income that they keep aside for transaction will be different. It cannot be the same. So if a person makes, let us say, 2 lakh of rupees, his consumption pattern will be different from the one who makes 12 lakh of rupees. You're getting my point, Shun? So it's income elastic. Then beta, it is interest inelastic. Interest inelastic, kindly pay attention. One small example. Suppose a person earns 12 lakh of rupees. Please pay attention. 1 lakh every month. So beta, out of that 1 lakh every month what he earns, na, what most of the families we find, okay, the husband says, okay, house management is with my wife. So he gives her 50,000 rupees per month. Example I'm giving. He may be giving more or less. That I'm not concerned with. I'm just giving an example. So imagine Mr. A earns 1 lakh per month, gives to Mrs. A 50,000 rupees per month. That 50,000 rupees per month has to be given in all circumstances so that she can buy the things that she wants, food grains, vegetables. She have to pay the ironing bill, the cable charges, all that she manages. So for all that particular thing for her to manage, she needs 50,000 rupees. It is interest inelastic. So Sri Prasanna, when I say it is interest inelastic, I mean this. Suppose in the market rate of interest is 10%. Understand properly. Then out of 1 lakh rupees, he gives her 50,000 rupees. She says fine. When the rate of interest becomes 30%, once is it that he'll tell her wife, darling, this month the rate of interest is 30%. So instead of giving you 50,000 rupees, I'll put it in the bank and you manage the family with 2,000 rupees. Come on, Tanvi, come on, tell me fast. Think about it, beta. If the rate of interest becomes more, 20, 30, 40%, whatever be the rate of interest, Mr. has to give to the Mrs. so much amount of money. What is the rate of interest? She says, I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about the idli and the sambar that I have to make. I'm bothered about the biryani that I have to make. Don't get me wrong, beta. She says, what is the rate of interest? What have I got to do, macha? You give me 50,000 rupees every month, whatever be the rate of interest. So if I have to show diagrammatically, please pay attention. Instead of showing 2 diagrams, I can show this in one, which makes sense, students. Kindly pay attention. See this. Suppose here I say demand for money, and here I write rate of interest. Please understand now, beta. Suppose I have this particular curve, and I'm writing this curve is DD curve, showing demand for money at Y level of income. Come on, read this. Y1 level of income, it's D1, D1. Come on, let's go ahead. Chalo fast, tell me. This is Y2 level of income, D2, D2. How will you read it? All of you boys and girls, tell me. First thing, income elastic. When your income is OY, that is it's less, so the demand for money that you have is OD. Come on, once. As your income increases, your demand for money also increases. As your income still increases, your demand for money increases. Beta, in very simple words, when your income was less, so you were happy with even necessities of life. Then, bacha, as your income keeps on increasing, then what do you want? Not just necessities. Come on, tell me, comforts and luxuries of life. There could be a time, students, when you just had a ceiling fan and used to get good sleep. Then now, because your father has made good money, you want an air conditioner also. Without air conditioner, you say, I don't get sleep. Fine. So your income has increased, your consumption habits have also changed. Then one day, bacha, your mom says, I feel very hot cooking in the kitchen as such. She said, Dad said, darling, no problem. I'll buy a AC for you, install it in the kitchen also. Then one says, I get very, after taking a bath, I start sweating as such. So, beta, no problem. I'll put a AC in the bathroom also. You please enjoy that. What I'm trying to say, Vicha, your consumption habits change with the level of income that you are getting. So transactory motive is income elastic. And the second part, Bacha, how will you explain this interest in elastic? Think about it. When your income level is OY, come on fast. DD is the demand curve. So you are giving to your lady in the house as such so much amount of money, whatever be the rate of interest. So once rate of interest is more, rate of interest is less, mummy bolegi itna paisa, mummy would say, I want so much amount of money, and she has to be given that much amount of money. So it is interest inelastic and it is income elastic. Now, beta, two things you need to remember. This, if I say the transactory motive depends upon income, it also depends upon business. What does that mean, business? Very easy. Imagine, students, a family comprising of, pay attention, Mr. A, Mrs. A, and their two small A's. Please understand, this is a family. The family wants money. Acha, small A will only come. Now, how B will come? Obviously, now pay attention. Chalo. So, Mr. A, Mrs. A, and two small A, the family students, they demand money as per the income that they have. Getting my point? And business motive means what? Take this example. There is a company like Reliance Industry Limited, net worth of more than 15 lakh crores. Think properly. Now, bacha, Reliance Industry 15 lakh crore, and there is a company like Big Bazaar, not even 1 lakh crore. So tell me, who will need more money for transaction? Come on, tell me, Reliance as compared to Big Bazaar. So when I'm saying the students, the transactory motive is income elastic, interest inelastic. It depends upon the income of a family. It also depends upon the size of the business that you are operating. Small businessmen would need less money. Big businessmen doing big business of big volume will need more amount of money. Same is the case of a family which earns less and the family which earns more. Any doubts over here? Please tell me fast. This is clear. Come on, excellent. Let's go ahead. Transactory motive is done. Now uncle says, sir, you have to keep some amount of money with you as a, come on, Someshwara, precautionary motive. Precautionary motive is what? Come on, tell me. Obviously, you live in a society where, beta, what will happen tomorrow you don't know. So future is uncertain. And to face the future uncertainties, it is said you need to have some amount of money with you as a precautionary motive. And that's important, beta. Why it is important? Because let's be very clear. They say now, God should never create a situation that when I have to go to someone to ask money. And if that happens, students, you come to know the real character of the people. No one helps you at that point of time. So please never create that situation. Rather, I only save for the rainy day. So when I say I save for the rainy day, bacha, I'm keeping money for precautionary motive. Now tell me, precautionary motive, when I say, bacha, that is also income elastic. And tell me first, interest inelastic. Chalo, what it means? Tell me first. Income elastic. One small example I used to give this. If there is a person earning, pay attention, 20 lakh rupees in a year. So, beta, today keeping money aside for precautionary motive will mean what? Taking a mediclaim policy. And today's time, if you understand, bacha, some basic common sense is there. No family can afford to have surviving without a mediclaim. No, it's important. Just like we have food, clothing, shelter, education, entertainment, even mediclaim is important. You need to have a mediclaim policy because these doctors, this hospital bills become so astronomical that if I have saved some money, then bacha, at least that problem can be taken care of. Now see, when I say this income elastic, what do I mean? My income is 20 lakh of rupees, so maybe I take a mediclaim of 20 lakhs. I hope getting my point, students. Most of the families, I know of a friend of mine, students, he is the CEO of a particular Lodha group of company. So bacha, his salary is more than 1 crore. So he was telling me the other day, Girish, I have a mediclaim of 50 lakh rupees. Obviously. So it's income elastic. As your income increases, maybe your mediclaim coverage or maybe the money you keep for precautionary motive will change, increase as such. And it is also interest inelastic. Come on, what does interest inelastic means? Your dad cannot say this year interest rates are more, so I'll not take mediclaim. You take care of your health as such. Who doesn't take care of their health? Everyone takes care. But this uncertainties come now. So better be ready to face the uncertainty by keeping aside money for precautionary motive. Now, my dear students, pay attention. I wrote here, if you remember this, transactory motive is LT, precautionary motive is LP. Now I write over here LT plus LP is equal to L1. That means they both come in one same category. Why they come in same category? Because you find they have some common feature. They are income elastic and interest inelastic. Till here it is clear. So the formula where it is written, bacha, how do I write over here? Come on, tell me. L is equal to L1. L1 is LT plus LP. Now kindly pay attention. Now that new wine in the old bottle will come. Uncle took all that information from the first two people. Now, beta, transactory precautionary motive. Third thing he added, students, is something called as speculative motive, which is LS, and LS is L2. Please now pay attention. What is speculative motive? First thing, every family may you'll find there are people who earn income now. They have some money which they've kept aside for transactory motive. Done. Precautionary motive, done. But then beta, some amount of money is still remaining. So you should be a fool if you keep the money idle. Please don't tell me that. So bacha, when money you have kept, you should be keeping the money for what purpose? For speculation. Speculation is what? Using that particular money to invest in shares, securities, invest in property, invest in gold. So these all things in which people may invest money or they put money in bank. I would say these all securities where he's investing money will be considered as bonds. Tanvi, please understand, beta. I repeat, what did I say? I have earned, I have spent money or I've saved money for transaction and precaution. Then I keep money with me, students, for using it for speculation purposes. Now in classes, when I used to take physical lecture, so maybe some ambitious student asked the question, so speculation is like gambling? No. Gambling mein beta, you take uncalculated risk. You're playing cards, that is uncalculated risk. You're playing in the horse race, derby, that is uncalculated risk. Speculation mein You take calculated risk. I'll give you a small case, please pay attention. Bombay Stock Exchange student, the NSE, National Stock Exchange, all those who are understanding something, bit of last week, every day the market was rising. Every day the Sensex was rising. Every day the share prices was rising. Done. I know of some company students, they had reached the highest level. So a particular company students price was 10 rupees. Its market price used to be 180, 190. It became 290, 300 rupees. Great. Now people made money. They did profit booking. You know what is profit booking now? Shri Prasanna bought the share for 2 lakh rupees. Its value become 4 lakh. So what he'll do? He'll take 4 lakh rupees. Now, what is that money? That money, where is that money? Money is in the bank. Money is lying idle. So money is not to be kept idle. What happened, bacha? Yesterday, day before yesterday, the share market crashed. And bacha, it crashed badly. So what I did, what anyone else did, students, remember one thing, beta, I'll tell you, Warren Buffett, don't listen to me. This is not what I'm saying. This is what I follow. Warren Buffett used to say, students, when all people sell, you buy. When all buy, you sell. So, bacha, last 2-3 days, everyone was selling. And I had saved some amount of money, student. How come? By selling my shares in the last week. Yesterday, I think I had very less lectures till afternoon only. So after 2 o'clock, I was free. So what I did, I was working in the Bolt. Online trading I was doing, students. So I was able to get some particular shares at a very low price. Like 1 month back, there is a company, ITC. Its share price was 217, 218 rupees, 220. Yesterday, the price was 205 rupees. Think, there is a company, student, Hindustan Petroleum. Last week, the price was 312, 314. Yesterday, the price was 288. Now, Bicha, please understand, these companies are fundamentally very good companies. Some particular market problem, profit booking, because of that, the price comes down. So, Shri Prasanna, what a person will do, beta, the money that he has saved, that money he'll be using it for the purpose of buying shares at this price or at a low price, lower than this. Bacha, this is speculation. You buy things at a lesser price so that you sell it tomorrow, come on, when the price becomes more. Now, one basic information, you tell me, beta, I have kept money for speculation. Speculation is, students, I want to take the benefit of the changes in the share prices, right? Of changing in the bond prices. Abhi, you tell me, students. These bonds or this bank deposits gives me returns. Give me the answer properly. Suppose I say the rate of interest offered by the bank or by the bonds is more. All of you boys and girls, I hope you're understanding. Rate of interest is more. So is it sensible to keep cash with myself? I should use the cash to buy bonds? Tell me fast. Tanvi, jaldi bolo beta fast. What did I said? Rate of interest is more. Should I keep cash with me or should I use cash to buy securities? Come on fast. I can't make it simple than that. Buy bonds, precisely. So when the rate of interest is less, remember, people will surrender more liquidity. So liquidity surrendered will be more. Am I right? And tell me first what will happen? Money held with them will become less. Getting my point? Yes or no? Repeat fast. What did I say? Rate of interest is more. When I'm getting more interest rate, I'll surrender more liquidity. and beta I'll buy bonds and keep less money with me. Why I'll keep less money with me? Because beta money keeping with yourself will give you no return. If I use the money to buy bonds, if I use the money to buy securities, it will give me good returns. So keeping the money idle is useless. Rather, I should do what? Surrender more liquidity. Wait, second part. If the rate of interest becomes less, completed, come on, tell me, liquidity surrendered will be less. Agreed? Come on, completed. Money held with the people will become more. Is it right? Come on, yes or no? Yes, na? Arey, come on, respond. You understanding my point, students? Still here it is clear. Now understand the ahead what I'm saying, students. Suppose I say, look at this diagram. Here I'm writing rate of interest. And here I'm writing money demanded. Think properly, beta, and you give me the answer. Participate, then only this concept will be clear. Suppose Vansh feels, okay, sir, on my money I should get 5% interest rate. All of you think about it. Beta? So Vansh has a feeling I should get, sir, 5% interest rate on my savings or such, whatever he is saving. But what is happening today, na beta? He is getting from the market not 5%, 15%. Sri Prasanna, now tell me, beta, you want 5%. So 5% you feel is something that you should get. So mind you, that is the critical rate of interest. But what is the current rate of interest? Critical rate of interest we say is the normal rate of interest. He expects to get 5% and the current rate of interest which is going on is 15. Now please you all tell me at 15% interest rate, you were expecting what? Only I'll get 5% and you're getting 15%. What you will do with the money? You'll keep with you or you'll surrender that liquidity. All of you. All come fast, respond. Surrender. Thank God. Why would you surrender? So I'll ask you a question. Why will you keep with you that money? Beta, if I keep it in the locker, now think properly, I get zero return. I feel I put it in the bank, I'm getting 5%. I feel I can get 5%. But market mein bonds are giving me 15%. So imagine, pay attention, if the current rate of interest I'm writing is RC, then this is that particular demand for money. Demand for money will become what? Come on, tell me, zero. Understand the diagram. And this is, students, supposed to be Rn. What is Rn? Normal rate of interest. And this is the current rate of interest. So once was expecting I'll get Rn. Let us say Rn is 5%. He is getting 15%. Beta, you put yourself in that situation. If you are getting RC, current rate of interest, which is more, if I was there, then I would have given my wife money for transaction. I would have kept money for precaution, and whatever money is left, tell me, come on fast, I'll do what? Prasanna, what I'll do? I'll give all that money for what? Investment, na? So, bacha, when the rate of interest current is RC, zero is the liquidity I'll keep with me. Why I'll keep zero liquidity? So, why should I not keep zero liquidity? Is a counter question. I'm getting such good interest rate. So, rather I'll keep what? Come on, tell me, money with me or surrender? Fast, I'll surrender. Then, bacha, imagine if the rate of interest prevailing in the country becomes Rn only. Now Sri Prasanna says, sir, Rn is what? Normal. I know that this is normal, and he says, sir, I know, It will not fall below this. It will rise after this. So what he is doing, he is keeping M amount of money with himself. Why, beta? For the simple reason, so when the interest rate rises, I'll surrender more liquidity. How come? Come on, tell me. Listen, pay attention. Suppose the rate of interest becomes more than a bit RN. So what you'll do? You'll surrender more and keep less cash. And when it becomes so fast very high, come on RC, you will not keep any money with you. You'll rather surrender full liquidity. This is from one person's point of view. Now, from a country's point of view, students, how do I show? Please pay attention. It comes here. Rate of interest, demand for money. Please pay attention, bacha. The diagram should be clear. I'll explain one liquidity trap now. Imagine this is that liquidity preference curve. LPC. Very easy if you understand. Now see, what it tells you, beta, it's something like this. When the rate of interest is OR1, rate of interest is high. So what I will do, what you will do, I will surrender more liquidity. And if I surrender more liquidity, I'll keep less cash with me to the extent of OQ1. I hope it's clear. Come on, but please tell me, Prasanna, Vansh, understand now? Now imagine, Prasanna, if the rate of interest becomes, come on, tell me, R2. Come on, the rate of interest is less, I'll surrender less liquidity, keep more cash with me, Q2. While keep more cash because Prasanna has a feeling, sir, this is very less, it will increase beyond this. Perfect. Now imagine if the rate of interest becomes this R3. R3 is how much? Pay attention. R3 is, let us say, 1%. So, beta, 1% may what happens? I get a feeling. I put it in the bank. Bank will give me 1% return. Prasanna says, sir, market is giving only 1% return. So what you'll do, beta? He said, I'll keep money with me only. One said, sir, I have to stop lending. I have to stop depositing money in the bank. I'll keep money with me only. You know, beta, when the rate of interest becomes as low as 1 to 2%, everyone start keeping cash with themselves. So, bacha, at this rate of interest, imagine this was Q3 and this horizontal portion goes till Q4, Q5. And this is the point of time when in the country starts facing a problem of liquidity trap. Wait, what is liquidity trap? When the rate of interest becomes less now, people keep cash with themselves. Mind you, cash should be in the economy. Cash should not be in the locker. If people start keeping cash in the locker, bacha, then banks don't get the money. Banks are not able to create loan. And the country starts facing a problem of what? Shortage of liquidity. That situation will be called as what? Liquidity trap. Any doubts over here? Tanvi, kuch samajh mein aaya? Understood this point? Sure. Now, one additional thing Keynes said, and that is what you need to. Before that, come on, all of you, please tell me. Now, the formula will become what? Come on, L is equal to L1 plus, tell me, L2. What is L2? Speculative motive. Till here it is clear. Achha, transactory I'll not explain again. Precautionary I'll not explain again because I've already done. Now pay attention. Speculative motive. Speculative motive, I said, is the motive where people keep aside some amount of money to take the benefit of increase in what? Market value of bonds. So my elder brother bacha used to always tell me, "Ke beta, if you keep money in cash now, it will remain that much only." Now, yes, he used to say if you buy bonds, first you'll get interest on bonds. Second, its market value will increase. Market value will increase, beta. Think about it. MRF company, best example, Chennai, I've seen the office. One share was 96,000, 99,000 rupees once upon a time. So imagine 10 rupees share, 99,000 rupees is what? Market appreciation. Then, my dear students, who tells you keep money in locker? Pagal. Who tells you keep money in the form of gold? Mahapagal. Madness that is, not keeping money in the form of gold, beta, is no. Gold prices are very high today. Appreciation will happen or not happen, we don't know. Only if some auntie wants to show off, then she can buy. Otherwise, bacha, anyway, for me, it's no investment. Now, people want money for speculation to take the benefit of rise in prices and interest rate by investing in bonds. Now, bacha, one important point he has said over here, what he says, okay, there is an inverse relationship between the rate of interest and the price of the bonds. How to explain that? Pay attention. I'll give a small example, concept should be clear. When I say there is an inverse relationship, with this example you should be able to understand. Let us say one person says, I want to earn 1,000 rupees. Please pay attention. So there is a gentleman who wants to earn 1,000 rupees as such. So question is, how much should he invest to earn 1,000 rupees? Imagine in the market rate of interest prevailing is 10%. So beta, to earn 1,000 rupees at 10%, I think now we all know he has to make an investment of 10,000 rupees. Is this right? Come on, Tanvi, paying attention, beta. 10,000 rupees, if you invest at 10%, you'll make 1,000 rupees. Now, please, you only give me the answer and get the right answer. Suppose Sri Prasanna, if the rate of interest in the market becomes 20%, then better to get 1,000 rupees, how much you will have to invest in bonds? Now tell me. You'll have to invest 5,000 rupees. Super. So you can see inverse relation. When the rate of interest rises, come on, bond prices becomes less. And once if the rate of interest becomes better 5%, then if the rate of interest becomes 5%, then you'll have to invest 20,000 rupees. So this shows what? There is an inverse relation between, come on, rate of interest and the price of bonds as such. Next, come on, what did I say? From an individual's point of view, our Someshwara says, sir, market is giving 15% interest. So Someshwar will do what? Keep no money with himself. Zero liquidity he'll keep with them. Why bacha he'll keep zero liquidity? For the simple reason that he's getting more interest. He gets 5%, he keep this liquidity. Why? Because he has expectation that it will rise. And this is students a liquidity preference curve showing liquidity track. Till here it is clear, yes or no? Come on, boys and girls, tell me. Matangi, understood this? Sure. Hari Priya, good morning. How come you're in the morning over here? Logeshwarana, Gautam, so why in the morning? You should come in the evening. My Lakshay, tera daan kaisa hai? Come on, let's better do one thing now. This particular, I'll give you a brief note on this. Kindly note down that, students. Write down the notes on liquidity preference theory. Liquidity preference theory. Yesterday, Milkha Singh died. You know that, no? Milkha Singh, the flying Sikh. Hmm. Okay, okay. No, I'm sorry, madam. No problem. Your college exams, carry on, carry on. Yes. Okay, okay. Acha, and this particular theory, beta, if someone has a feeling that they don't want to write, you can look here instead of getting angry at me. In case if this is fine for you, I have no problem, beta. I'm for with you only. See, this answer is given. Keynesian theory it runs into, I don't know. You'll write, dear. I'll explain to you better. Chalo. लिखेगा Prasanna, you will write now. You don't want to write? Please write, students. This makes sense. In the exam, if this question is asked, this explanation is more than enough. Please note down. Right, liquidity preference theory was presented by modern economist. Presented by modern economist Lord J. M. Keynes. Full stop. According to Keynes, demand for money is demand for liquidity. Demand for money is demand for liquidity. Write in a bracket against that L. Demand for money is demand for liquidity. Full stop. People want liquidity for different motives. And these motives are right in that first point, transaction motive. Right. It is the money required for, come on, beta, tell me. It is the money required for your day-to-day transactions. Full stop. Ek minute, pay attention, so listen, one point I'll just share with you. This is something you can write it, pay attention. See, when I say transactory motive, the idea is what? Your dad earns income once in a month, isn't it? Ki matangi every day he gets income once in a month. Now, the income we get on a monthly basis. But beta, my spending is not on a monthly basis. Spending is on a daily basis. So transactory motive mein idea is what? I need to spend money on a daily basis. Today I have to buy food grains. Tomorrow I have to buy vegetables. Day after tomorrow I'll have to pay the cable bill. Then I'll have to pay the electricity bill. So I don't need money, students. One day only. I need money over a period of time. That is why I keep some money aside for what? Transaction motive. Right. Income is earned. Write down. Income is earned either on a monthly quarterly or on a yearly basis. Yearly beta, all elderly people get pension on a yearly basis, no? Or on a yearly basis, but spending is done on a, come on, spending is done on a daily basis. And therefore, it becomes essential to keep some cash for transaction motive. Right in the next line. The money required for transaction motive is income elastic. Underline that. And interest inelastic. Right in the next line. Income elastic means as the level of income of a family or a business organization changes, the demand for money also changes. And interest inelastic means come on, interest inelastic means whatever be the rate of interest, the money required would remain the same. Please draw this diagram. Done. You please write this, student. This x-axis is demand for money. Here we have rate of interest. Write on the explanation. The above diagram shows that when the level of income is OY, DD is the demand curve. And when the level of income rises to OY1, demand rises and we get a new curve D1, D1. So write in a bracket is that income elastic. Now Y2 I'm not giving, you understood this source. What this represents, come on, it is income elastic. Next line. Similarly, the demand for money curve is vertical, perfectly inelastic. Indicating that whatever be the rate of interest, demand for money remains constant. That is DD. Okay, done. Write in a bracket is that interest inelastic. Write the second one. Precautionary motive. Right? It is the amount of money that people require for precautionary purposes. That is to face future uncertainties. Like medical charges or some other emergencies. Full stop. The demand for precautionary motive is also income elastic and interest inelastic. Right, the third one, speculative motive. Right. This represents the money which is kept aside for speculation, that is investing in shares, securities, right now, investing in shares, securities, property, right in a bracket against that students, bonds. All this are commonly called as what? Bonds. Right in the next line. There exists an inverse relationship between interest rate and bond prices. There exists an inverse relationship between interest rate and bond prices. Beta, write in a bracket against that first this part. All of you pay attention. First write this for your information. Investment 10,000, 10% interest, earning is 1,000. This is for you to understand. Huh? On this background, I'm giving the explanation. So what we are saying, students, the bond price is 10,000, 10% interest rate helps me to earn what? 1,000 rupees. Now continue. People buy bonds when their prices are low. And interest rates are high. Come on fast. You understood this point? People will buy bonds when the prices are low. Please tell me, Sri Prasanna, you'll prefer to buy at 5,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees? All of you, please tell me. You'll prefer to buy at 5,000 now when the interest rate is this. To specify there, write in a bracket, people buy bonds when the prices are low and interest rates are high. So write in a bracket against that. To earn 1,000 rupees, at 20% interest, bond price is rupees 5,000. Bracket close. And sell when, sell when, come on fast, sell when bond prices goes up. Right now, sell when bond prices goes up and interest rates are low. So write in a bracket against that 20,000 at the rate of 5%. Full stop. Right in the next line. What did I say, beta? I just repeat it. I read the full sentence. People buy bonds when the prices are low and the interest rates are high, and sell when the bond prices goes up and the interest rates are low. You written that, Prasanna? Done, beta? Okay, right in the next line. First point, right, students? The relationship. Now, first point in that, when the rate of interest is high, people will, chalo complete it. When the rate of interest is high, people will surrender more liquidity. Agreed now? People will surrender more liquidity because the opportunity cost of holding idle cash is high. The opportunity cost of holding idle cash is high. Full stop. It is the time to buy securities as their prices would be low. Please understand, there's nothing very serious in this. It is time to buy securities as the prices would be low. Tanvi, you understood that? This simple, beta, sure. And second point, when the rate of interest is low, completed, come on. Second point, when the rate of interest is low, people will surrender, come on, more or less liquidity. Thank you, thank God. People surrender less liquidity and keep more cash balance with them. Full stop. As the security prices go up, as the security prices go up, they will start selling and make profit. They will start selling and make profit. Full stop. Hence, the liquidity preference curve will slope downwards from left to right. For the economy, it slope downwards from left to right for the economy. As is shown in the following diagrams. But please listen once again, pay attention. First, this you have to show this part, and you have to show this part is actually showing what, come on, individual's point of view. Sometime in the exam they'll ask only this diagram, this part. So don't feel why we to draw. You have to draw this first. This part, individual's point of view. Individual point of view, what did I said? Remember, I said Sri Prasanna feels I am getting 5% interest only, and I'll get 5% only. But when he goes in the market gives him 15%. So beta, he says, I'll surrender all liquidity and keep zero cash with me. And if the rate of interest is 5%, then he keep this much cash because he's expecting prices to rise. This is from one person's point of view, and this is from the country's point of view. So please draw both the diagrams, beta, fast. First, draw the individual one. And what is this RN and RC? I'll tell you, students. RN is what? Nominal rate of interest, and RC is current rate of interest. Finished? Done. Please give this diagram number 1. This is the first diagram. Write the explanation of the first diagram. The above diagram number 1 shows that when the current rate of interest, with a current rate of interest we specify as RC, when the current rate of interest is more than the normal rate of interest Rn, people will surrender, come on, people will surrender entire liquidity and keep zero cash with them, to get the benefit of increased interest rate. But when the current rate of interest becomes equal to normal rate of interest, then people will surrender less liquidity and keep OM amount with themselves. Come on, next line. The second diagram shows that the liquidity preference curve is a downward sloping curve. And when the rate of interest is OR1, come on, when the rate of interest is OR1, people surrender more liquidity and keep less cash with themselves. That is Q1. And when the rate of interest falls, they keep more cash with them. And finally, underline this please, finally, when the rate of interest becomes very less, that is 1%, write in a bracket against that R3. At this low rate of interest, come on beta, what do you write at this low rate of interest? People, come on fast, what happens at this low rate of interest? People keep money with themselves only. People keep money with themselves only and do not deposit it with the banks. Due to which, come on, completed, due to which the country starts facing shortage of liquidity. Country starts facing shortage of liquidity. That is, liquidity is idle. Think properly about what you're writing. Liquidity is idle at home and not with the banks. This situation is called as, yes please, this situation is called as what? Come on, liquidity trap. Point is clear? Yes please, all of you, tell me. Sure, understood na beta? Logeshwarana, right now, Haripriya, understood this? Shabari, right na beta? Gautam, chalo. Arshita, understood? Pannarasi, understood na beta? No doubt, Matangi, you understood, bacha, right? Okay, let's go ahead, students. Now, please pay attention. Boys and girls, pay attention. Your chapter demand for money, there are three parts. First is pre-Keynesian. Pre-Keynesian is the cash balance and cash transaction approach which we studied. Then we have Keynesian approach, this one. And now we have three small concepts called as post-Keynesian. Post Keynesian I'll not dictate, we'll read from the book only. But first tell me one thing. Ek minute, 1 second, listen please. Last lecture I'd explained to you, if you remember, qualities of good money. Arey, come on, yes, na? What is the first quality? Tell me, Sri Prasanna. First quality of good money is what? Money should be. All of you, come on, money should be. But what is the quality? ठीक है. What is the quality of good money? Acceptability. Perfectly right. No one should refuse to accept that particular money. Then second one was what? Acha, you understood that. Now that's not very important. But what is very important is the Keynesian one. Last year exam mein they asked 2 questions on post Keynesian. That was too much. Now post Keynesian are small concepts. Abhi, please listen when I'm explaining that now. So beta, you need to understand one basic thing is demand for money will be for what reason? For these 3 motives only now. Transaction, precaution and speculation. So post Keynesian theory that we are going to study now, one is called as the inventory approach by Baumol and Tobin. One is called as the restatement theory given by Milton Friedman. And one is risk aversion theory, students, given by Tobin. Now, bacha, please listen properly. These are not separate theories. These are concepts. They have got information from the transaction, precaution, speculation. They've just added some more spices to it. Not to show that they also know something. There are some people there, now they always act smart. There is that one typical auntie, whenever your mom makes, she says, "Nee, this I would have made better." So these three concepts that I'm going to teach you, beta, please, it is on the pretext that the first 3 concepts you have understood. Then these 3 becomes easy. I repeat, this approach, whatever we're going to study now, is nothing else but only a refinement of the first 3 approaches what we have studied. So kindly pay attention. I'll start with pay attention. Achha, this whenever you get time, you can go through it, students. Speculative motive, all that is given. Here see that same example is given, student, for 50 rupees. I made it for 1000 rupees. Liquidity trap is given. Boys and girls, now pay attention. Listen properly. Now I request students, please understand, this is not at all, students, easy. They have given in very difficult language. So I know this. I'll make it clear to you also. First, we have to study Baumol-Tobin analysis. This theory is called as inventory theoretic approach. I'll explain to you what actually they want to say. Kindly pay attention, students. Listen, Link for the notes, beta, no link. I'm dictating on my own. It's not that I have those notes with me. I'm dictating. This is what I've been doing for the last 32 years. So these notes are prepared by some other professor as such. These notes, what I'm dictating, I'll tell you, you will find it easy afterwards as such. So when I'm dictating, kindly note down. There's no link wing, nothing of that sort. Otherwise, refer your textbooks. अरे क्या बोलता है बीच में? Two sector model notes, I'll tell. Y'all are Chennai, na? I'll tell over there Chennai, mein those people I'll tell, but don't worry. That I will arrange. Please listen now. Now, first, Baumil Tobin. Pay attention. If it makes sense to you, it is good. Otherwise, I'm sorry. Baumil Tobin is what? Nidhi, welcome back. Idli, chalu hai, chalo. Anyway, Baumil Tobin approach. What is that Baumil Tobin approach? Pay attention. It's very easy. This approach, students, is called as the inventory approach. What is inventory? Understand. Let us say there is a person who has a factory where production of goods takes place. Fine. So, beta factory is there, production takes place. Now, in that factory, for production to takes place, what he needs is he needs inventory. Now, he needs inventory, stock of raw material, semi-finished goods. He makes finished goods and he sells that and he makes money. So, bacha, just as a factory owner keeps inventory of goods with him and then student he sells those goods and make money, Baumil and Tobin says every family also keep money with itself as an inventory. For what purpose? Come on, tell me. Inventory for transaction purpose. So, beta, what Baumil and Tobin have done now, they have expanded the cash transaction approach. Now I repeat once again, pay attention, beta. What these people say, okay, I have a factory where I have kept inventory of goods, stock of raw material. I process it, I make finished good, I sell it, I make money, I survive. So beta, just like that, we family members also keep cash with ourselves so that we can undertake the transactions that we want to undertake. So just like a factory owner keeps goods, we keep cash with ourselves. Now cash for what we want transaction. Now understand this one interesting point he has said. He says that people keep cash with themselves now. Says cash, if you keep it in the locker, what it will give you return? It will give you a big zero return. No return. He said that is nonsense. To keep money idle is the worst thing that can happen. Precisely, uncle. I agree with you. So he says money should not be kept idle. Fine. Then what should one do with the money? I mean, imagine his understanding was something like this. But understand. I'll explain you in Indian context so that things becomes easy. Let us say there is a family of Mr. A, Mrs. A, and there are two small A's. Someshwar, right, Vida? Small A will only come now. B cannot come over there. Now, small A's are there. Nidhi, now listen. Let us say Mr. A earns very good amount of income. So, bacha, most of the families also what happens? The lady of the house manages the show. So, what he does every month, small example, concept should be clear to you. He gives her in the beginning of the month 1 lakh rupees to spend for her transaction and for the all food grains, vegetables, all that she wants to buy, she buys with that particular 1 lakh rupees. Abhi think properly, beta, what they had in their mind, Baumil and Tobin. Uncle says, okay, if Mrs. A gets 1 lakh of rupee in the beginning of the month, now that 1 lakh rupees that she gets on the first of the month, she will not be spending it in the first of the month, right now, once. So beta, she'll be keeping the money with her for a period of 30 days. So if there is a person who's intelligent enough, he can tell her, na, Are, madam, 1 lakh rupees you are getting, you're keeping it in the locker. So if she's naive, she is very innocent, she says yes. Then obviously, bacha, the chartered accountants and the people in the share market will start thinking now. कि madam, this money that you're keeping like that is idle money ना. तो बोला क्या करूँ? What should I do then? No, nahi, it makes no sense to keep money idle. She says, but I want money for transaction na. Bola, madam, today you have kept money that you may be needing on the 30th of the month. So you are just keeping the money idle. So then she says, what I should do? Then imagine if I would have been there, I would have told my wife, she would always complain, Ki Girish, you give me some more amount of money. After giving 1 lakh rupees, if she says more, then I told her one day, you see, when I give you 1 lakh rupees in a particular month, that means for 10 days you get 33,000 rupees. Please understand. Someshwara, right now, beta, for 10 days you're getting at least 33,000 rupees. She said, right. I said, what about the 66? She said, it's kept in the cupboard. I said, but if you have kept in the cupboard, you say, I want more amount of money. She's busy in Myntra, Amazon as such, Flipkart, buying things as such. I said, there will be no problem if you make some money out of that money. So she was very happy. And money out of that money, I say. And one student, she was listening to the lecture also. What lecture? I said, when you are sleeping, your money should not sleep. I said, Girish, how my money will not sleep? So I told, okay, see, I'll prepare for you a demat account. Please understand, boys and girls, and don't get me wrong. This is what Bomil Tobin says. 1 lakh rupees you are getting in the beginning of the month. Tomorrow, these girls attending the lecture, when they become housewife, when they become child accountant, you should also remember this, what I'm telling you. Money keeping idle is a sin. Keeping your brain empty is a bigger sin. Use it. If you don't use it, bacha, then what is the use of having money? God will not give you then more money, students. It is that particular capability that you make money out of money, helps you to make more money, will make you rich, students. Understand this. So what I did, I opened a demat account. Done. Now she gets, suppose, 66,000 rupees, which she will not be using for the first 10 days of the month. So what she does? She buys shares of ITC. She buys shares of Marico. Marico, bacha, very good company. Last Diwali, I remember the share price was 200 rupees. Yesterday it was 520 rupees. Please understand. Parachute oil, precisely. So, bacha, 200 rupees share is 500, 520 rupees. She's not a long-term investor, but she's a short-term speculator. She knows my broker. One of my broker is my student only. So he calls her and says, Madam, sir has bought these shares. If you want, you can also buy these shares. And what happens? Pay attention. That money which is there, what she gets in the beginning of the month, we should be using for the full month. For 10 days, she has kept 33,000 rupees. Remaining amount of money, she can use it for buying shares. And what happens, bacha? Very simple. By the time 10-day period gets over and she's short of money, she sells those shares. And maybe that 66,000 rupees she has sold the shares, she's able to make 75,000 rupees. Now Someshwara, 9,000 rupees more if she makes, and in time shouldn't she made 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. At times she suffered loss also. So beta, ishq hai to risk hai na. You're getting my point. If you don't take risk in life, where will you go? Nothing, nowhere beta. Acha, biggest risk is your life, yeah. We are living a life, na. That's a risk. And why don't you take risks in life? You're supposed to take. Now, when I tell her and she started doing this, she's loving it. Why? Now, whatever sale is announced in this particular Myntra app or the, she's the first who will go and buy. She's happy, I'm very happy. And why she's happy? Because she's buying things. For a female as such, shopping is the biggest pastime. And she prefers to do this as such. I mean, all this was fine. Making good money. Now my son, he's doing MBA. Most of his friends are Marwadis. So that Marwadi thinking has come now. He's telling mom, do you know? Well, what beta? Okay, when you buy shares na, you have to pay brokerage for that. She said, okay, brokerage also have to pay. Bola, mom, when you buy, you have to pay brokerage. When you have to sell, you have to pay brokerage. Matlab, what does it mean? Every month, by the time it is first of the month, you buy. Bola, हाँ, right. By the time it is 10, 12, you start selling. So when you buy, you pay brokerage. When you sell, you pay brokerage. So he comes and tells her, corrupts the mind. Then one day she was thinking. I said, why you are thinking? I am there to think. Huh? You don't think, you spend. Now the question is, she said, nahi Girish, I have to pay brokerage also. Bola, re, how can you survive without others surviving? Broker should also survive, na? And you be happy that you're making 5-10,000 rupees every month because of this. Then sometime in between, bacha, when the pandemic happened last year, na, markets started falling. Now, when markets started falling, bacha, there are two problems that were happening. First, share prices was also falling, and then brokerage was also very, very high. Brokerage is not very high, bacha, but you feel high brokerage because your earnings become less. Think about it. Then student Baumil Tobin says, if your brokerage cost is taken care of and you are able to make surplus, then please don't keep money idle. Use that money to make more money. And this is that particular approach given by Baumil and Tobin. Uncle was very clear. Keeping money idle for a housewife is also a sin. And today, if some particular student has understood, can go and tell your mom, and let's be very clear, she will be happy on learning this. Achha, here one problem is there. Listen, when I told this to my wife as such, she did it. When I told it to my sister, she said, who will go to that broker? Who will tell that? But so who will, if that question comes in your mind, na, then gone. I used to tell in SM, na, the day you find comfort in your discomfort, then your growth will be limitless. But why every time comfort? Or in the afternoon time, they are busy watching Crime Patrol. Tarak Mehta ka Ulta Chashma. Imagine Tappu and Gadda and all that particular stupid things as such. Rather, you can use this particular time for something productive. My sister said, no, 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 this is a headache. So you have a head, na, use it. Don't get me wrong, beta, Tanvi, and right now, if I have a head, I have to use it. There is no kidneys over here, there is brain over here, I can use it. I can use it, that particular money to make more money. Imagine how it is, it's so good now. Your husband gives you 1 lakh rupees and you out of that 1 lakh make 1 lakh 10,000. So maybe in the house student, that grumbling, that fighting also becomes a bit less because some kind of money has been arranged from somewhere else. Be very clear, I just gave a hypothetical example of 1 lakh. The lady of the house gets 50,000 rupees now. From that 50,000 also, bacha, if she invests 35,000 rupees, she can make 5-10,000 rupees. Money is not to be kept idle. Money is to be used. Use that money, bacha. That money will give you more money, is what Baumil and Tobin has to say. Only thing is, when that Marwadi thinking comes in between now, brokerage, then you ensure that if my earning is 10,000 rupees and my brokerage is 500, I'm fine with that. No problem. I make 10,000 now, let my broker make 500. But better if it's the opposite way, what? I'm earning 500 rupees and my loss and brokerage is 10,000 rupees. Then it makes no sense. Someshwar, am I right? If my brokerage is very high, bacha, and if my loss is there, then it makes no sense for a 500 rupees earning that I should go with. Got the point? Let's read this, beta, what uncle has said. Look here. Listen, beta, wordings will be a bit confusing, but the concept should be clear what I explained to you. Baumil and Tobin developed a deterministic theory of transaction demand for money known as inventory theoretic approach. Remember inventory, I said stock. I give the example now. Prasanna as a factory bacha, he brings raw material. So I have a house, I bring cash. Why I bring cash? Because I need cash for transaction purposes. Come on. In which money or real cash balance was essentially viewed as an inventory. See this, pay attention, underline this. Cash balance was viewed as an inventory held for transaction purpose. Please be very clear. This is just a better version of the cash transaction approach. Inventory model assumes that there are two media for storing value, two ways in which you can store value. One is money. What is money? Vacha, tell me. Mom gets 1 lakh rupees in the beginning of the month. She keeps that 1 lakh rupees in the locker only. Second is interest bearing financial alternative assets. Getting my point, Nidhi, Tanvi, understanding? What is it, beta? Interest bearing alternative financial assets. So you get money, you can keep cash with you, or you can use it for buying what? Assets. Interest bearing. Yeah, beta, I'm saying interest bearing, at the same time there is capital appreciation. You know, one boy who's very intelligent or who feels he's very intelligent will ask me, sir, if you buy and sell shares, then where is the interest? Then there is no interest, bacha. Then there is market appreciation. Market appreciation, you got the point of what I'm saying? Share prices rise. Boys and girls, yes or no? Bacha, I'll tell you something. Listen, all of you pay attention. I must have told this in my SM lecture. You know, one company is there na, by the name Infosys. You heard of this company? Don't get me wrong, beta. And see, I'll talk something that makes sense to you if you are understanding. Infosys company has this particular time now kept aside 9,200 crore rupees with which they'll buy back their own shares. Imagine. I remember when I was taking your lectures of SM, that time one Infosys shares was 1250 rupees. I remember telling you Hyderabad branch, Bangalore branch, Raipur branch, Jaipur branch, every branch I took. 1250, 1300 rupees was the share price. And I did said the company has proposed what? We will buy share of Infosys from the market up to price 1750. So Mishwar, think, all of you think. 1250 was the price, 9,200 rupees they have allocated, 200 crores. So beta, this is the demand curve, this is the supply curve. They both meet each other at Nungabakam, prices OP. Think properly. Now what will happen? That now demand will rise in the market. Why demand will rise? Because one day they'll have to come in the market with 9,200 crore rupees. When they bring that 9,200 crore in the market, what will happen? Come on, tell me. This will be the new demand, D21. And bacha, this become the new price. You know what was the price yesterday? Yesterday the full market collapsed. But Infosys share price only went up. Yesterday the price was 1510 rupees. How much? 1510. So imagine a housewife, if she knows, if she understands, if she reads newspaper rather than watching Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, some basic knowledge to she would be having. Na? What? If this particular share price, which is 1250, has become 15, it will go up to 1750. So what a common housewife would have purchased with on, imagine 50-60,000 rupees. She would have got 40 shares. And imagine per share if the price goes up by what? Come on, 100 rupees, 200 rupees. She makes 80,000 rupees. Na? Arey, come on, she makes, 8,000 rupees. To be very clear, opportunities are there. It is an opportunities knock your door only once. And if it doesn't, then create a door. You're getting a point? Create a door and opportunities will come. You know, Bacha, who is one who doesn't succeed, who finds excuses? So you find excuses. You want to find fault in others. You bloody improve yourself now. Sorry, chalo, come to the point. Bolo, what it says, this is a Marwadi thinking now. Come. There is a fixed cost of making transfer between money and the alternative asset, that is brokerage charges. Hey, understood? My son Shivam would say, Papa, mummy ko bolo, what? Broker charges. I said, don't tell her. Ladies would not want to students spend money, but they want to earn money. So brokerage is why disturbing. Come on, see this. While relatively liquid financial assets other than money, such as bank deposits, offer a positive return, the above said transaction cost of going between money and these assets justifies holding money. Meaning what, students? Come on. Transaction cost is involved. Please understand this point. Baumol uses inventory approach to analyze the behavior of individual. Just as businessmen keep money to facilitate the business transaction, people also hold cash balance, which involves an opportunity cost in terms of lost interest. Now, listen to this point. Therefore, they hold an optimum combination of bonds and cash balance. That is an amount that minimizes opportunity. What is the meaning of this, students? I purposely created an example. I said she gets 1 lakh rupees. For first 10 days, she has kept with herself 33,000 rupees. Once, agreed na? First 10 days, she has kept 33,000. So she is keeping optimum. No day she can say today no food. Why? Because money I've invested in what? Infosys. You want idli sambar every day, na? So that she has to make arrangement. But with the money that's idle, she can use it. See, excess cash over and above what is required for transaction during the period under consideration will be, come on, read this, invested in bonds or put in an interest-bearing account. Money holding on an average will be lower if people hold bonds or other interest-yielding assets. The higher the income, the higher is the average level of inventory of money holding. What it means, come on, tell me, one lady who gets 1 lakh rupees in a month will put more compared to a lady who gets what, 50,000 rupees, like that now. Also depends upon the carrying cost. Carrying cost is what, come on, brokerage, Marwadi feeling, which is the interest foregone by holding money and not bonds. The inventory theoretic approach also suggests the demand for money and bonds depends upon the cost of making a transfer. Same thing, but again and again. That means you remember, students, that brokerage cost is there as such. Achha, here it is clear, students. Anyone, any doubt? Boys and girls, tell me fast. Gautam, understood now? So tell me, Matangi, you have to keep cash with you or you should buy bonds? पैसा रखने का बेटा. Haripriya, tell me fast. Keep cash with you in your pocket, in your purse only you should keep cash. Senseless, na? Arshita, right? So what is it, beta? And don't get me wrong, this is not my theory. I would have put some more spices to it. Uncle has said only two things. Beginning of the month you get money, Gautam. That beginning of the month you get, imagine 30,000 rupees, you'll be spending 30,000 in 30 days. So why to keep 30,000 idle? First 5 days, I'll tell you, I know of some particular student of mine who attended. One of the girl comes and tells me, sir, after your lecture, I tell my mom, 5 days ka cash you keep with you. Rest of the cash you use it for buying securities. And you believe me, whenever she meets me now, I feel that smile on her face. That is something good has happened. And bacha, please. I'm not telling you to invest in shares. Afra, I'm not telling you to buy bonds. But if you buy, it is better rather than keeping money idle. Agreed? Any doubts? Sure. Now, what is Milton Friedman restatement quantity theory? 2 minutes break, students. Chalega? Fine. 2-3 minutes break. The chat. Yes, please. Let's start. Come on. Chalo fast. Tell me. First question. Lakshay. दांत किधर गया तेरा? Okay. Boys and girls, tell me first. Demand for money is direct demand or derived demand? All of you. Derived demand. Derived. Right now, why derived? Because money doesn't satisfies my want, but money helps me to buy things which satisfy my want. So remember, Lakshay would say, "Sir, I love money." तो बच्चा नहीं, don't love money. We don't love money. We love money because money helps us to buy the things that we want. That is why there is demand for money. Okay, cash transaction, cash balance, liquidity preference. So one of you tell me, what is the relationship between bond prices and rate of interest? Inverse relation. You'll remember that, na beta. So people will always surrender more liquidity when will people surrender more liquidity? Boys and girls, tell me fast. People will surrender more liquidity when the rate of interest is more and keep less money with themselves. Why they keep less money with themselves? Because why to keep more money with you when the market is giving you more interest rate? Am I right? Acha, what was the difference between current rate of interest and nominal rate of interest? Nominal is you're thinking how much you will get. Current is what you're actually getting. Now tell me, nominal rate of interest you think that you should get is 15%. All of you know I'm reversing it. You feel you should get 15%, but the market gives you only 5%. So Haripriya, what you'll do with the money? You'll keep the money with yourself. Why you'll keep with yourself, beta? Because it makes no sense to lend at that particular rate as such. You're waiting for the market to become favorable. Afra, right now, beta? Acha, money should be kept idle, ke money should be active. Matangi, jaldi bolo beta fast. Money should be active. So when the husband gives money in the beginning of the month, what you should do, Harshita? Tell me fast. Keep all money in the locker only. Afra, full money in the locker? Nahi. So what to do, beta? Gautam, tell me. What to do, beta? Don't. It's not that I'm telling you buy shares. You can buy bonds. You can buy securities. You can put money in post office. You can do anything, but you do something. Don't just keep it idle. Acha, my sister student, she would say, I'll buy gold. The pagal hai, gold. So gold, in the sense you buy gold and then when you sell gold, that making charges so is lost now. The jeweler will not give you the making charges which is gone. And when we go to sell, he says, no, no, this is 21 carat. Well, idiot, you sold us 22 carat. Then who will fight with them? They are such big businessmen as such. Rather, I buy small script students. I'll tell you something. You know a particular company, Vodafone. Arshita heard of the company Vodafone, bacha. Yesterday, Vodafone share price was 9 rupees 50 paisa. And 950 ka it became 10 rupees 40 paisa at close. Gautam, per share how much? Imagine 90 paisa profit. So I know of people, student, they bought yesterday 9 lakh shares. Why 9 lakh shares? Some 4G particular problem was getting so. अरे 9 lakh share, imagine per share they made a profit of 90 paisa. टेंटेड है नाफरा दिवाली कल ईद कल से चालू हो गई. इमेजिन करो बेटा ना. इमेजिन फॉर व्हाट? Just using your common sense. Common sense is not common nowadays. That's a problem, Shabri, right now, beta. So please remember, don't get me wrong. I'll always tell something that will be beneficial. Lakshay, now pay attention. Please pay attention, beta. Now the next theory we have is, see, look here. It is called as Milton Friedman. Friedman, I don't know what was fried as such, but this person, Milton Friedman, see what he has given, restatement of quantity theory. Matlab, what it means, student? Restatement of Achha, costings are also using the same dialogue. Who teaches costing? Hitanshu sir, right. Now obviously, beta, brain, money, always use. They say na empty mind is a devil workshop. Otherwise, you start thinking wrong things, bacha. Use it constructively. Chalo, pay attention. Sorry. Milton Friedman, bacha. Friedman, what was Fried? I don't know, but this person name is Friedman. He gave a restatement of quantity theory. What does beta suno dhyan se pay attention? Quantity theory was the cash transaction and cash balance approach. So the first theory was students some improvement over the transaction approach. This is bacha some improvement over the transaction and balance approach. Pay attention. Milton Friedman, bacha, believe me, we used to teach this in SY BCom. Milton Friedman. So much he has written, but so less is what he wants to convey. So he's like typical student, boring character, but still he's there, bacha, we have to study this. What uncle tells, pay attention, Milton Friedman extended Keynes' speculative money. So imagine speculation, we studied, na Keynes used to say, people want money for speculation. So he also says that. But beta, when he says speculation, he implies transaction and precaution also there. So same explanation is taking, but one more thing is adding in it. Within the framework of asset price theory. I'll come to that. Listen, from here you'll understand. Friedman treat the demand for money as nothing more than the application of a more general theory of demand for capital assets. Meaning what? Please pay attention, I'll make it very simple. Beta, your mom says, please pay attention. Okay, I want a new refrigerator. So that is demand for a capital asset. Think properly. You say, okay, Papa, I want to buy a new laptop. So capital asset. Your dad says, I want to buy a new car. So just as people make demand for capital assets, Friedman says people demand money. So demand for money is nothing more than application of a more general theory of demand for capital assets. Just as capital assets are demanded, people demand money. Now, what is one new thing he has said, bacha? Demand for money is affected by same factors as demand for any other assets, namely permanent income and relative return on asset. Please now pay attention, beta. And this is what you should know. He says demand for money is affected by same factors as demand for any other asset. I'll tell you like this. Till yet, whatever I've explained, I said, beta, please listen, beta. I told you in that first diagram when the income level is OY, so your demand is DD curve. Then income becomes more, your demand becomes more. So till now we used to consider the demand of people used to depend upon their, please understand, current income. Lakshay, pay attention. Till now we studied that demand depends upon current income. He says, no, sir, demand depends upon permanent income. Permanent income means what? Pay attention. I'll share some point with you. Listen properly. Hey, boys and girls, listen. There's one good example that has come to my mind. I'll just share with you. Listen, Shabri, pay attention. And boys and girls, listen. One restaurant, Afra, this particular restaurant, now one girl goes for having some particular thing. After she eats that particular thing, what she wanted now. When the time comes to pay the bill, Haripriya, what she does, she gives a tip of $500. $500 is bacha, that means imagine how much amount of money. Too much now, 35,000 rupees, Arshita, right? So this girl gives a tip of $500. After some time, another person comes to that particular restaurant, eats something, and when the bill is to be paid, he pays a tip of $5. I wish to know when that waiter gets the tip of $5 and tells him, "Sir, your daughter had come now some time back. She gave me a tip of $500. Gautam, and you are giving me only $5. Who are this person? Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, she gave you $500 because her father is very rich. He said, you are the father now. I am the father. My father was not very rich. We don't believe in all these things. Please understand now. Your consumption pattern depends, not I'm saying, bacha. Friedman says, depend upon your permanent income. If you were born with a golden spoon, then bacha, your consumption habits will be like that only. Bombay mein I used to stay with her. I travel in public transport, all that particular thing I've seen in life. I've suffered also. But my son, he wants to travel anywhere, he will travel in his car only. He wants, okay, we are bacha normal people here. When I remember taking lectures in Chennai with that 1,000 lights, some places there we come out, and after 8-hour lecture, I used to feel very tired. So I wanted to have a cup of tea. Every day I would have a cup of tea in that one particular corner. One person used to make very good tea. He used to put some masala and give. My son would never stand there also and have something as such. Papa, where you are standing? Hey, idiot, your father is standing here and having. Papa, nahi. I will prefer to go to a big restaurant and eat something. Arshita, what is the difference, bacha? Difference is this: permanent income. Your parents may have a particular lifestyle, bacha, but they feel my child should get the best of all. So they try to give you the best. So please remember, your consumption pattern, your consumption habits may not depend upon your current income. It depends upon your permanent income. That is not what I'm saying. That is what Milton Friedman is saying. Remember, you are born in a family, right, where your father could afford to give you everything. Then, bacha, your consumption habits will be like that. I know of a friend of mine, students, normal, very, very poor person. Now he's become very rich. His children would not travel in less than a Mercedes car. That lifestyle. They'll always have an iPhone with them. iPhone, I tease them as such. You know to use it as such. Well, uncle, please don't tell that. Most of the functions we don't know. But then, bacha, imagine, they're like my daughters as such. Nah? So I would tease these particular girls as such. Uncle, please, please. And then they used to hesitate to come in front of me. Now uncle will start pulling a leg. Pulling a leg is what? Beta, you should not forget your roots. That is the important. Nah? You are in air for what? These all things that we have today is because of someone else's efforts. Bill Gates then said, she gave $500 is because her father is rich. She has seen that particular lifestyle in her family. That was a permanent income. I have not seen that. So my lifestyle has been very poor. He comes from a poor family. He's become rich now. You find, student, your parents also will have value for money. They'll respect. They will tell you, better not to waste food. They will tell you, do this, do that. Why they tell you, better? Because they know the value of things. I'm sorry, today's generation knows the price of things. They don't know. They don't know the value of things as such. The day you realize the value of things as such, things will be different. And please, Milton Friedman uncle is one who saw this. He says your consumption habits will depend upon your permanent income. You're born in a rich family or your family has become rich. So your consumption habits will be accordingly. Normal family bache, your habits will be. I know for some particular people in my particular complex, they say this, the children would travel in public transport buses as such. No, uncle, we'll go like that. They'll get in the train. My son would have never entered the train also. No, Papa, please. I'll go in my car only. Acha, then driver should also come on time. Why that? Because maybe since he's come, I've started flourishing in life as such. I think like that. So if it is like that, bacha, then he has seen that permanent income. Don't get me wrong. Am I right? Hari Priya, getting it, beta. Gautam, Shabri. So bacha, here uncle tells what? Come on, tell me fast. Your consumption depends upon what your permanent income. Lakshay, daan dikha, chalo, haan, fast. Permanent income, and then relative return on assets, which incorporates risk. Incorporated, Lakshay would say, sir, I have some money. So Lakshay comes from a very rich family, bacha, his consumption habits will also be like that. A particular person who comes from a normal family, middle family, bacha, he'll find roadside food also delicious. You're getting my point? We would shouldn't eat street food. We love shouldn't. Bombay, we love to eat street food. We'll find taste there also. And there are people, they go to five-star hotels. There also they'll find fault. What? The salt is not there, spices are not there. The five-star hotel, bacha, prepare food for the foreigners. Someshwara, right now they prepare food which is bland. And we Indians love masala. Imagine today we eat masala and next day morning it comes out all from where you know very well as such. Now imagine when I'm saying this, permanent income decides your demand for money and shouldn't relative return. Now here, bacha, there are four things he has said. Pay attention. The nominal demand for money. Demand for money depends upon what? Pay attention. Total wealth. Come on, tell me. Mukesh Ambani's child's demand for money and a normal person's demand for money will be different. Why? It is a wealth as such. Kolaksha, he's raising his hands. So it's a function of total wealth, which is represented by permanent income divided by the discount rate defined as the average return of 5 assets class world, namely what? Money, bond, equity, physical capital, and human capital. You remember only one thing, beta. Rich people, permanent income is more, total wealth is more, consumption will be more. Then positively related to the price level. What is the meaning of this? Positively related to the price level. Imagine I'm in a country, student, where the prices are high. So demand for money will be high. Why, Someshwar? Demand for money will be high because things are expensive. Then it raises if the opportunity cost of holding money declines. Meaning what, beta? If the market gives me more interest rates, if the market gives me more return, then what will I do, bacha? Then I'll demand less amount of money. Why? Because I'll prefer surrendering more liquidity. And last is inflation, same point, bacha. Here what I had written. Price is influenced by inflation. A positive inflation rate reduces the real value of money balance. They were increasing this is cost of money holding. You remember like this, student? Prices are more, you'll demand more amount of money for more transaction and precautionary purposes. Last point, student, risk avoiding behavior. So I'll explain this, pay attention. All of you come over here, student. Chalo, tell me one point. Arshita, tell me, you invest in shares? Anyone in your family invest in shares? Afra, right? They invest. Afra, no one. Gautam, Shabri, yeah, good. Tanvi, Marwadi, nahi. All money in gold. Okay, yeah, she's laughing. Lakshay, Marwadi, chalo bolo. Invest. Now imagine, Kavya, Sri Prasanna, nahi. I'll tell you, beta, understand what Tobin has to say now is what I asked you all just now. When I used to invest in shares, I'll share one point with you. I used to work in the share market. I used to love work. I used to enjoy. Enjoy in the sense, student, believe me, I used to be the most active person in my office. I lost a lot of money in Harshad Mehta scam. Then I came in teaching. Well, teaching though I love, bacha. My mom was a teacher as such. My elder brother, cousin is a teacher. He was a chairman of Bombay University. So we are in this field. I was one particular step different. I used to work in the share market. Enjoy. When I used to do that now, and I lost too much amount of money. Too much means all money that I had, I lost. And I used to fly high in the air. Like I used to feel Appun is Bhagwan hai. Na? This feeling is na, I'm only the ultimate. That ego was there in me. That everything got killed in that scam. That time, students, I remember my father used to give me a sarcastic smile. What sarcastic smile? He used to laugh at me at time. Pagal, I used to tell you share market is risky. But a risk, if I don't take, I was taking lectures in the college otherwise, students. My life would have been what, students? That same sluggish. I would have been living in a small house. I would have just traveled in India. I love traveling, student. Now I've traveled almost 27 countries of the world as such. I love moving here and there. Very nice, beautiful places around the world. I have a very big house as such. I have good facilities. All that has happened because I used to invest in shares. Teaching alone would not give you that much amount of money. So now pay attention. My father used to say, Nai, Girish, shares nahi. Fine. I asked Kavya, she said, no, 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 no. Very bluntly, she said no. I asked Afra, she also said no. Here, maybe two, three, Someshwar also says no. Right now, Sri Prasanna says no. So maybe in this class also, there are so many people, they say, sir, not investing in shares. That means, you know, what is their behavior? Their behavior is risk aversion. What is risk aversion, beta? They don't want to take risk. And share market is risk. Risk, bacha, that risk which you have to live with. You believe me, yesterday morning my lecture was going on from 6:30 to 9:30. 9:30, student, next lecture started at 10 o'clock. So by the time 10 to 1 lecture got over, I suddenly saw this money control app in which I had lost some lakhs of rupees. My son said, Papa, you should have told na 9:30 only to sell some shares. I said, Beta, but I didn't realize I was doing all this particular work as such, and in that process I lost. That is risk. And beta, I love to take that risk. Maja aata hai. Why? Because that risk keeps me going. Tell me, you all tell me, beta, if life is settled, then what is the fun? Please, Kavya, if life is settled, everything is pre-decided, predetermined, then there is no fun. Na? Yesterday, beta, when the prices were falling as such, I lost so much money, and when students' lunchtime was there, my next lecture was at 3 o'clock. 2 o'clock, 2 hours in between, I bought some shares. So my son Shivam, Papa, first only you lost, you still bought shares. I said, Chup re, tu kaam karte raha. Now you do your work. Let me buy. That is, students, my behavior of taking risk. Tobin says there are some people who are ready to take risk. It is in their appetite to take risk. And there are some people, they are going for risk aversion. Risk aversion means they don't want to take risk. So who's right and who's wrong? I'll tell you, bacha, what I am doing is not 100% risk I'm taking. Never. I've burnt my fingers, I've burnt my body, student, once in the Arshad Mehta scam. I've seen those days. You will be shocked when I say this. I've seen people, students, crying, pouring kerosene on themselves, self-immolating them. They lost so much amount of money in the share market. One company, listen. This company's name was Karnataka Ball Bearings. Its share price was 1,640 rupees. There's a company by the name ACC. Share price was 27,800 rupees. There was one particular company, students, Satyam Computers. 4,850 rupees. Many companies are there. I used to deal in this. I used to have these shares. Beta 1640 rupees wala share na, it came down to 10 rupees. Imagine all investments washed away. ACC 27,800 came down to 1,640 rupees. Imagine that time, bacha, 92 mein, if I had 27,800 rupees, that was itself such a big amount. And if I had 100 shares, and that 100 share value became how much? I spent 27 lakh rupees, students, and that become 16,400 rupees. Lost now. Satyam Computers 4,880 rupees became 7 rupees. This we have seen. So when I have burnt my finger, I have burnt my body because of this particular scripts. I don't want to take 100% risk. So what do? I do speculation. Speculation means what, Someshwara? I am taking calculated risk. So what am I doing? Some particular place I take risk, and some particular place I go for risk aversion. I'll tell you how. I go for investment in equity. At the same time, bacha, I do investment in debts. Debts means I give loan to the company. I buy students debt securities, debentures, mutual funds. Now, Kavya, bacha, when I'm doing this, what am I doing actually, beta? I'm preparing a portfolio. You studied portfolio in SM, no, beta? Portfolio management. So, portfolio management, what we do, we spread our investment in such a way that I am having the optimum collection of scripts, optimum, the best collection of scripts that will give me returns also, and that will give me safety also. So Tobin says speculation would mean not taking 100% risk, never. Those who take 100% risk, then better, they need the blessings of God. Only that can help you. And let's be very clear, God has to look after crores of people. You are not the only one. So he's busy. He may not be knowing that you exist also as such. So beta, why? You take care of yourself now. Diversify. Keep some money here, keep some money there as such. If something goes wrong in the equity market, then you say, never mind, sir. I have some amount of money in debt that will take care of me. So risk aversion behavior is what? Someshwar, Prasanna, their parents would say share market is risky, will not invest. Fine. I feel if I have to uplift my life, and if there's common only teaching, I cannot make everything that I want in life. But if I would have been just teaching, I would have to travel in public transport. Now I have my driver, I have my car. That lifestyle to afford, bacha, I'll have to take risk. And one way of taking risk is what? I left college, I joined JK Shah classes. Fine. But JK Shah classes will pay me when I take lectures. And I don't have 12 hours lecture, students, in a day. What about the remaining time? Remaining time, I don't want to be idle. So what I do, I use that time for this particular kind of things. Don't get me wrong. We write articles for Kotak Mahindra. We write articles, student, for so many other particular companies, and they pay us for that. What are we doing? Risk aversion. Risk aversion is not taking 100% risk. Some risk, and then prepare a portfolio which gives you the best of both of the world. That is what Tobin uncle had to say. We'll see this. Kindly pay attention. Please listen, Surana. This is something, last part of this particular chapter. Liquidity preference as a behavior towards risk, written in 1958. This was given 1956, students, previous one. Tobin established that the theory of risk avoiding behavior of individuals provided, see this, risk avoiding behavior of individuals provided the foundation for liquidity preference and for a negative relation between demand for money and interest rate. The optimal portfolio structure is determined by the risk, the reward characteristics of different assets, and the taste of the individual in maximizing his utility consistent with the existing opportunity. What does it mean, student? Come and tell me. You ask your dad would say, okay, Lakshay, I bought LIC policy for you, right? Then your dad says, I bought gold also. Then your dad says, I bought some property also. He's also doing portfolio now. So imagine he does like that. I would buy shares, I would buy bonds, I would put money in the bank FD. That depends upon your taste. And bacha, it says it depends upon the risk reward characteristics of different assets. My father would never invest money in shares. He used to feel I'm mad. Why mad? Because I'm investing in shares. But then, bacha, when I bought a car and I took him in that car as such, and I bought for him a very nice gift, he was so happy. Good, good, good. No problem. You know, they do this not because they don't like us, but they don't want us to suffer. Now, I am like that, a bit strict with my son at times. He doesn't listen to me, that is another thing. But still, bacha, I try to see to it that he doesn't take too much of risk. And he says, Papa, you take so much of risk. He, the other day, student has a demat account. He bought shares of United Breweries, Someshwar, United Spirits. And I asked him why. So they go, Lakshay is doing. Why? Well, Papa, now rainy season has started. So I said, then what? And now people will buy more of alcohol. And bacha, when he said this, he was sensible enough to say that. Result is what? He made good amount of money in those particular scripts as such. He doesn't mind taking risk because he has nothing to lose. He is using my money. I said, Shiva, when you make your money now, that time you make all these particular decisions. Anyway, in his theory, which analyzes the individual's portfolio, see the portfolio allocation between money and bond holdings, the demand for money is considered as a store of wealth. Tobin hypothesized that an individual will hold, please understand, this is the last part, would hold a portion of his wealth in the form of money in the portfolio because the return on holding money was more certain than the rate of holding interest carrying earning assets and entails no capital gain. What it means? It means some money you have kept in the form of cash and some amount you have kept in the form of securities. Right now, optimal. It is riskier to hold alternative assets, that is shares. Vis-a-vis is in relation to holding interest, just money alone, or because government bonds and equity are subject to market price volatility while money is not. According to Tobin, see this last sentence, bacha, rational behavior of a risk-averse individual induces him to hold an optimally structured wealth portfolio which is compared of both bond and money. Please underline that, bacha. This is important. So you would have some point of time, some money also and bond. The overall expected return on the portfolio would be higher. See this is a person like me. The overall expected return on the portfolio would be higher if the portfolio were all bonds, right? Someshwara, if it was all bonds, but an investor who's risk averse, like some person who doesn't want to put in bonds, who's a risk averse, will be willing to exercise a trade-off and sacrifice. No, I don't want more return for a reduction in risk. So those people, bacha, who are very, you can say frightful. They would say what? No. I will keep cash. To get 10% more, I don't want to lose 20%. You get your point? Beta, there was a company, Kingfisher Airline. Kingfisher Airline share price was 400 rupees. Someshwar, today what is the price? Kingfisher Airline, 0. I have a friend of mine, he was a big fan of Vijay Mallya. I don't know why. I said, what is there to like in him? Well, he is a flamboyant person. He has more than 40,000 shares of this particular Kingfisher Airline. Now I said, no, use it as toilet papers. You get your point? 40,000 shares buying was not sensible. I used to always tell, diversify. I remember students that time when he had, I also had. But then we shifted to Indigo Airlines. Remember, I used to say Indigo Airlines students, good service they give. This is speculation. What he did was gambling. You buy share of a company because you like that person. Like pagal. So nonsense, na. You like, I like so many people, so I'll buy their company shares. Nonsense. Some people in Bombay, bacha, they know na Salman Khan is a brand ambassador of being human. You heard that, na? Being human. Being human, may first of all, Salman Khan should become a human. You get my point? Imagine he is the one who's involved in drinking and driving. He is the one who's involved in killing that black bucks. They are very good people, students. I know Salman Khan and his charity gives so much amount of money, but you can kill someone and then do these kind of things. Is it justified? Not justified. Salman Khan, student, being human is by a company. क्या नाम करेगा? Minda, something like Minda. That particular company share people are buying in Bombay like anything. Why? Salman bhai. Arey kya bhai? Think now. Now that new film that came, student, Salman bhai. What Salman bhai? What film was that? Who saw? Even Salman Khan never saw that film. You're getting my point. So should you buy the share of this particular company because he is the brand ambassador? I think these people are mentally bankrupt. Lakshay, understood the point now? Mentally bankrupt, you're buying because you like Vijay Mallya. RCB to never won the cricket match here. IPL to, my God. They are struggling. This year we will win. Bangalore, when I take lecture, I tease them. They get very apprehended. But win at least once. Anyway. In a cup salar, in a day, something like that they used to say. Anyway. Okay, boys, girls, but Tobin theory implies that the amount of money held as asset depends upon the level of interest rate. An increase in interest rate will improve the terms on which the expenditure portfolio can be included. Hey, bear, this is only one bit of risk aversion. Remember that, please. That's it. Any doubts in this chapter? Come on, tell me fast. No doubts, huh? Some revision I'll take. You all participate in the discussion. Chalo, fast tell me. All of you. Kavya, let's start with you. Afra, Matangi, be present. Jana nahi abhi. Haan, question puchta hu beta. Afra, you also be there. Kavya, tell me first question. Private income, when you consider, in private income, you consider factor income, transfer income, or both? Both. Perfect. Second question. Someshwar will tell. Someshwar, tell beta. National Income Act, constant prices is known as what? Real GDP. Right now, real GDP. So, Sri Prasanna, if I consider real GDP, then beta 1 year I consider as the base year, na? Today, which is the base year we consider? Super, very good. 2011-12. Excellent, very good. Chalo, next question. Harshita, tell me. Acha, beta, tell me now. What are the leakages in a three-sector model? It's easy, beta. Kidhar gayi? Harshita, I'll give you a hint. Pay attention. Acha, you know the answer? I'll tell you, beta, pay attention. Abhi 2 minutes, Matangi is ready with the answer. See, I just share with you one small point, beta, and you think about it. Huh? You only will have to give the answer. I earn income. That income I should spend, it should go back in the country. Na? But Harshita earns income, and what she does with the income, that income she saves. So is it going back in the economy? It is not going back. First point you understood? Wait. Second, beta, you earn income, and what do you do with the income? You use that income to pay taxes. So is that money going back in the economy? It's not going back. Third, you earn income, and that particular income you're using it for buying foreign goods. So money is going away from the economy. Now you give me 3 injections and Matangi will give me 3 leakages. Chalo fast. Hey beta, Arshita, now I've asked you the counterpart of it, beta. Huh? You understood the question, huh? Haripriya is ready with the answer. Haripriya, right now, you understood? Haripriya, Hari. Saving taxes exports. Come on, tell me. Acha, is it exports is wrong, beta? Exports is wrong. What should be the answer, Shabri? Imports. Perfect, beta. Imports, why? Arshita, beta, when I import, na, money goes out of the country. When I export, money comes in the country. So, Matangi, what are the 3 injections, beta? You've written the answer. 3 injections. Chal bolo. First, investment. Second is what? Come on. Government. And third is what? Export earnings. Export earnings. Okay, next question. Vansh, kidhar gaya Vansh? Lakshay. Vansh, aa tell me. Simple question I'll ask you. Give me the formula for personal income. Personal income is what? Lakshay, kidhar bhag gaya tha? Once, what is the formula for personal income? Wow. Excellent. Perfect. Right. Bacha, personal income mein what we have studied, tell me. Personal income is national income plus income received but not earned. Income minus income earned but not received. Lakshay gets married. Lakshay, how you can be so happy? You will also get married. And after getting married, if Lakshay gets dowry, Lakshay will get dowry or Lakshay will have to give dowry? Anyway, Lakshay gets dowry. So dowry will be what receipt? Tell me. Lakshay likho, what will be receipt? नहीं मारवाड़ी तू रुकेगा क्या चलो मेरे को मालूम है हाँ dowry receipt will be what receipt? Come on, tell me. Transfer receipts. What receipts? This is income received but not earned. Right now, should not be considered. Someshwar, give me the formula for private income. Private income. Haripriya, you give me the formula for personal disposable income. Gautam, you give me the formula for NNP at factor cost. Fast. Shabri, I will come to you once again. Sri Prasanna. Oh my God, personal income. Wow. Someshwar, excellent. You wrote that formula, no? Who gave that formula? Private income. Achha, private income was what? Shabri, give me the formula. Private income. Haripriya, PDI, personal disposable income you've written. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Super. Good, good. Who has written is very good. Beta, please, all of you remember this question will be asked in the exam. Private income, mein what I had said, first we find NNP at factor cost. That from NNP at factor cost, we remove the income that accrues to the government. Acha, government gets income in two ways. Which are the two ways, Shabri? Departmental and non-departmental. Right now, then what is left is NNP factor cost accruing to the private sector. In that we add transfer income. Right now, transfer income. From that we get private income. From private income, come on, what do? We add the income received, deduct the income earned but not received. Then we get personal income. From that, two things we have to deduct. Let's say which two things? One is direct taxes, and next is fines and penalties. Fines and penalties. Right now, chalo. Haripriya done. Afra कहाँ चली गई? Chalo, one of you give me the formula for Shri Prasanna. Give me the formula for GDP deflator. Nah, beta, there is one mistake. Nominal to real. Right now, Shomeshwara, nominal to real into 100. Perfect. Gautam, you're quiet. Give me the answer. Nominal to real GDP will give you GDP deflator, right, beta? Acha, tell me in India, who calculates our national income? This is so easy. This is like asking the President of India, Central Statistical Organization. Very good. Kavya, you tell me now. Cash balance approach was given by whom? Cash balance approach. No, not Fisher, beta. Cash balance approach was given by Cambridge economist Alfred Marshall and Pigou. Alfred Marshall and Pigou. Beta, please remember, AC Pigou. Okay, next. When the country is facing shortage of cash, so is it that the country is having no cash or the economy is not having cash? Come on, all of you. Economy is not having cash. Where is all the cash? Cash is kept by the people at home. Acha, people don't keep cash at home. So what people in Chennai do? What people in Kerala, Karnataka do? They buy gold and keep. So Kavya, you understanding the problem? So henceforth, when your mom tells we'll buy gold ornaments for you, what you'll say? Amma, no gold ornament. Rather, I'll tell you, but if you want to buy gold now, buy gold biscuit. Biscuit. So Gautam, if you have more money, buy brick. Someshwar, if you have still more money, buy a particular mountain. But don't buy ornaments. Once, am I right, beta? Ornaments makes no sense. Please buy biscuits, buy coins. There you get good resale value. But today, bacha, already prices are so high. If the price rise, then it makes sense. Huh? Otherwise, so best is katak. Become a chartered Sri Prasanna. One signature will give you so much money that you imagine, student, if money is everything that you want in life, then you are in the right place. Once, tell me. Next question. Acha. Keynes says that there is always full employment in the country. Can there be full employment in the country? Never. Never, na beta. Acha, employment in a country is a function of what? Gautam? Employment in a country is a function of what? This is very easy. Employment in a country is a function of what? consumption, effective demand. Acha, what point you reach effective demand? How do you understand that? Which is the point when we reach effective demand? Superb. Aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Acha, what happens if aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply? Aggregate demand is greater than the aggregate supply. Bacha. Remember, demand is students' revenue. Pay attention. Demand is revenue. So when they say aggregate demand, bacha, it means revenue. Aggregate supply means cost. So how you to understand? Revenue is greater than cost. So if aggregate demand is greater than supply, I am as a businessman will do what? Come on, Kavya. I'll employ more people. Remember, why I'll employ more people? Once, because I'm getting more money. So beta, demand is more, revenue is more, cost is less, I'm getting more money, I'll employ more people. Acha, if it is the other way around, bacha, aggregate demand is less, so revenue is less than cost. I'll employ less number of people. So employment will be till what point? Come on, tell me, when revenue is equal to cost. Gautam, that is the point when AD is equal to AS. Is this clear? AD is equal to AS. Okay. Now, government earns income, and that amount of income that government earns should be used for what? Come on, providing welfare. But imagine if government takes taxes from the people and that amount of money it spends in the country, but in the country demand for goods not increases. What is that situation called as? I repeat, attention. Let us say in the country goods available for consumption is 10,000 crore. All of you pay attention. Goods is 10,000 crore. Money available for consumption is 15,000 crore. Come on, this is easy. I have explained this to you. What it creates? Inflationary gap. That's an inflationary gap. Money is more in comparison to that goods are less. Achha, what should be done in this scenario? What should be done? Goods should be increased. But mind you, goods increasing is not possible, bacha, immediately. So we should reduce the money, and to reduce the money, we should increase the rate of borrowings. So we should not make money available to the people as such. If people don't get money, automatically money supply will become less. Boys and girls, you're understanding everything what I'm explaining? Sure. Chalo, next lecture I'll continue with the most difficult topic, money supply. Bye. God bless students. Thank you very much. Bye bye Someshwara. Bye beta bye. All will see Prasanna. Vansh. Thank you everyone. God bless you. लक्ष्य दान दिखा हाँ